Hello and welcome to Beyond the Edge. I'm your host, Brandy Deutsch, and Dee Dee's out today, but we have today Victoria Rusk, and we're going to be talking about, she's been on the show before in a different capacity, but today she's going to be talking about new decision therapy. And I'm so excited to be talking about this, Victoria. Welcome.
Thank
Um,
you.
we're so happy to have you because this is an incredible modality for helping people with their limiting beliefs, with their crappy thoughts, with the way that they're going with about their lives. They don't like it, they want to change it. And I'm going to have you talk more about that. But first tell us, how did you get started in this work?
Well, I met a naturopathic doctor back in 2015 whenever I had a car accident. And I was seeing a chiropractor, and then I also was introduced to the naturopathic doctor at the same time, which I love because I love understanding, Eastern medicine and holistic ways of treating yourself. So when I met Dr. Nettie Ramsey, she was assisting and helping me with detoxes and learning how to, care for myself in a variety of different ways, not just what the chiropractor was bringing to the table, but she introduced me to new decision therapy, back then. And I just have always been, open-minded to trying healing modalities, energy work, and stuff like that. So when she told me about new decision therapy, I was just like, yeah, sure, sign me up. And I had 3 sessions. I bought 3 sessions with her because I know in energy work, it kind of can take a little bit of time, or it's healing on the cellular level. So you really just don't feel it. And I wanted to, feel it if this was like a real thing. And so probably I did those 3 sessions in 3 months or something like that. And I went ahead and bought other sessions because I love Dr. Nettie, and I just fell in love with her and her practice and what she was doing, and I wanted to support her too. And the real shift came for me a little bit later. It was probably like my 6th session, and I was really struggling with procrastination. And we did another, like, it was like the 6th one, I think, new decision therapy session, and I was able to get 15 hours of work done on a project that weekend. And I thought, wow, this is the real deal here.
Yeah, for procrastinating, that's amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell us, how does this work? How does new decision therapy work? Like, what's the kind of process? Walk me through a little bit of a process.
So, when people ask me about new decision therapy, it's so, can get so convoluted, especially if people don't naturally gravitate toward metaphysics and understanding the philosophy of metaphysics and the philosophy of being, and how our, thoughts are the basic building blocks for our physical reality. So that can be its own 2-hour conversation. And I just,
Doesn't have to be.
well, being a new decision therapy practitioner, like, I just, if that's the case, then I send them resources and I just let them know, but I think that a lot of times, just in the, how do I facilitate a session? I like the first session always to be quick and easy, because I want people to see that this can get done in 15 minutes. Wow. And so it's efficient, where, you have to go to therapy for maybe sometimes years to learn coping skills for your own drama, trauma, and lies. That's what I say about new decision therapy. And so, so when I have a new client, first things first is, I teach them about, clearing denial. That's really, really important, that we understand what our thymus does for us. And then, so rubbing on that or activating that can really activate or connect your brain to your body. Mm-hmm. So clear denial, first and foremost. So that's both of us not making eye contact and, rubbing on our thymus and breathing. And so I walk them through that. And then we start muscle testing, which is applied kinesiology. I always say the word wrong. Applied kinesiology and behavioral kinesiology. Mm-hmm. And but muscle testing is a big part of new decision therapy, because you're muscle testing the body to understand what, if you can take in, if you know what the problem is, you can take advice and you can talk about the problem. So once we are clear and we know that, sometimes if you don't muscle test for that, there's no need to have a new decision therapy session because you're not available, or you don't trust the practitioner, or you don't know what the problem is. So that's the first and foremost. But most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, people know what the problem is. They can talk about it and they can take advice. And then we use muscle testing throughout the whole process of figuring out, well, what is the problem and what time did it start? What age did it start? Because your body is your memory bank, and your body knows exactly what is wrong and when it happened, when
That's
you
right.
made that, negating life choice or decision. And then the rest of the time we're intellectualizing it. So we use muscle testing to figure out what the problem is and where it started. And then me and the client are having a dialogue, trying to figure out the right words that the person needs to say to themselves in the mirror to go through that forgiveness exercise. So once the muscle testing is complete and we figured out at 6 years old, your teacher told you, this or that happened, we muscle test for, do you need to forgive yourself? Do you need to forgive a woman, or do you need to forgive a man? And sometimes if it's a woman, or if it's self, the woman I need to forgive is myself. And is that strong? A strong yes. Then we'll go to forgiving ourselves. And then we have this forgiveness dialogue in the mirror with one, the male or the female I, which we muscle test for that too. I just want to say it's so unique to the person. The therapy is so unique to the person and what they have going on within their body that, I'm a witness to the forgiveness, and they too are witnessing to themselves while looking in the mirror, looking in that eye, whether they're talking to a man or a woman, to mom or dad, to sister or brother, to, friend or neighbor. They're having that conversation with them or with themselves in the mirror. And then after we go through the dialogue in the mirror, because it's structured and it's quick, then at the end, we'll muscle test again to make sure that it cleared. And if it doesn't clear, so that means it goes weak, the body is saying, no, I don't need to forgive now. They're saying, no, I don't need to forgive myself for da-da-da-da-da, whatever that could be. Then that means that it's cleared and it's gone. And then we have 72 hours for cellular renewal.
Wow.
And so it is efficient. And that's probably what I fell in love with too, is that I didn't have to really consider going to therapy anymore. And I wouldn't. You couldn't convince me to spend the money or the time after I discovered new decision therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm hearing is it's a process. There are different parts to this process. And I heard, there's applied kinesiology involved, there's mirroring involved. And then you said a dialogue, which reminds me of like family constellation. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically something similar where someone is a representative of that person that you need to have that dialogue with, and they're in front of you literally, and you're telling them the dialogue that you need to hear, that they need to hear, or that you need to say. And it's this very interesting kind of exchange, being the witness and having to also, I love that there's also that element of the before and after with the muscle testing. We use that in theta too. As you know, you practice theta, you're aware of theta, and you've had theta.
Yes.
And
Thank you to you and Brenda.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
Amazing, right?
Yes,
and it's what a great compliment too to new decision therapy. I mean, they're similar, but they're not the same.
Right.
And there's some things that both kind of can encompass, go and address subconscious and cellular, things happening at the cellular level, at the subconscious level.
Yes.
So what kind of things can people work on whenever they come to you for new decision therapy?
Phobias, procrastination. You don't even have to know. Okay? You don't even have to know. You just have to know that you're being triggered and you're bothered and you're losing energy around something, honestly. You don't have to know, because we'll muscle test you and your body will tell us, because your body is so brilliant and it works in a hierarchy. So it's going to want to heal the thing that's on the top of the list, the first thing that it needs to heal. And so it will tell us, we don't even have to worry about it, right? So, somebody can come to me and just be like, man, like procrastination, this was my thing with Dr. Nettie. I was like, okay, I will do all my chores. I will find new chores to do. I even want to work on this instead of working on that. What's going on with me? Why is it that when I sit down to write this program or write this paper, that I'm just completely getting off track? I know I need to get this done. What is going on? I cannot intellectualize it any longer, what's going on. I just want it shifted. I want it out of my face, and I want to get on and get with it.
Yeah.
And so to me, procrastination has to do with worthiness. And what I did in that session with Dr. Nettie that was so life-changing for me was I needed to forgive my grandpa because he helped me get a car when I was in college, and he didn't do this for my brothers. And I didn't think that I was worthy enough of getting the car, and I was being treated differently, and it was triggering me. So getting this next step complete in my project was really triggering me, that if I was worth it, or if it was worth it, or if I was, because I was making my project to be this like big successful thing that I didn't know what it was, but this is what it meant to me. And I was telling myself this stuff about my project. Was I worthy of that success? There was something connected there. So I needed to have a conversation with my grandpa and forgive my grandpa for treating me differently than my brothers. And I needed to, go through a conversation that I had about getting this Saturn. I even paid my grandpa back for the car, but I couldn't afford it at the time. And so it was just this whole dialogue, and we're muscle testing through the whole thing. And to me, the miraculous part of it is that once it shifted and it, went away and I didn't have it in my body anymore, then I was able to go home and spend the rest of the weekend getting so much further in my project and feeling so much more accomplished, because it wasn't robbing me of any energy. I didn't have to, work so hard, I guess. I mean, it just wasn't bothering me anymore. It wasn't there. And I didn't even know that that's what it was. All I knew was my problem is I'm procrastinating. This is taking me way too long. I need to do this and do that. And, and so Dr. Nettie helped me.
Amazing. Amazing. How about something like addiction? Have you helped someone that has some kind of addiction before?
Well, it depends. No, I wouldn't say that I can think of that, but I just want to say that like addiction, to me is such a big umbrella. So to me, each person is unique, right? For whatever they have going on. So, whether you're an addict or you're not an addict, but say you're struggling with some of the coping skills, or your own personal unique coping skills, and you're being triggered from a desire or resistance, right? Because we use a lot of energy resisting a certain behavior or thought or belief. Like what we would muscle test for would be the same thing in the same process. Nobody's going to be treated any differently because it's all unique to you. And so to me, if this is what's going on and it's stealing your energy and you're not having the energy to cope, the energy to resist, you want to restore the energy. So let's clear off whatever's on the top and get it out from under there, and get you out from under it, so that you have more energy to live your life, to run your errands, to have that conversation, to stand up for yourself, to have courage, to have forgiveness, to have compassion. All that stuff takes energy. And one thing Dr. Nettie taught me was our body works in a hierarchy. So first things first, we're going to pump our heart, and then we're going to pump our lungs, and then we're going to digest our food. And so everything after digesting your food, or while you're digesting your food, you have limited energy to heal the boo-boo on your knee, to have an emotional conversation with your child or your boss, to do the things you need to do to exercise or to self-care, to whatever it could be, to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in your life.
Yeah.
And, so I thought, wow, that just was such a light bulb to me in understanding how our body actually really works, and simplify. And then what I'm going to do whenever I have done so much emotional healing that I'm out here navigating the world and I'm not getting triggered. Now, other people are getting triggered, and I see where I'm missing it sometimes because I'm not able to engage because I'm
That's
not being
huge.
triggered. Yeah.
That's huge,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
my.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh
Because
gosh.
when
Oh, I'm
someone gets
telling you.
triggered, it's an intense emotion. And if you're not aware, if you're not paying attention, you can also get involved in that and you can
Yeah.
get triggered by their trigger. But if you've done a lot, actually, I know you've done a lot of it, but if you've done some of your work,
Yeah.
you can be in the moment and recognize, whoa, that's not my stuff. That's not mine. Let's have a conversation, it's
Right.
not
Yeah.
easy,
Well,
but
and holding
that's
space for
important.
that other person is what I've learned to do, is that I
Mhm.
have the energy to be courageous and to have compassion. So I can hold
Mhm.
space for the other person while they need to go through what it is that they need to go through. And
Mhm.
some of those relationships are forced, because of work and stuff. But most of the time, what happens is if a soul, a being, can't have that dialogue or that interaction with that person, they can't learn the life lesson from them. So they just leave your life
Wow, yeah,
because they
that's
got to go where they need to go and get the lesson that they need to give or to do. And I just don't have that to give to them. So people just naturally fade in and out of your life
that's
for
right.
what the soul wants to accomplish or to experience.
You raised such a good point around being able to hold space for other people because, a lot of people who watch our show, they're in the energy medicine business and they help people. And if they're getting triggered, either it could be anything else in the outside world and they're trying to help someone else. We say that all the time in our industry, we must do our own work because if we're not doing our own work, we cannot help others in the way that we want to. So,
Yes.
sounds like new decision therapy is ideal for someone who does this kind of work for others and is maybe getting triggered because of what's going on out in the outside world and can't be present
Right.
for the people that they're trying to help. Have you well, I already know the answer to this question. I was gonna say, have you helped any other healers? But you've helped me. Like I've actually experienced it with you
Yeah.
before, and I think it's amazing. I think it's such an important aspect of someone who does any kind of work, therapy, or if you social work. Oh my gosh, you are also in that realm of social work when helping people who have been in very compromising situations as far as just their life, maybe in prison or in helpless situations.
Yeah.
So how has this helped you deal with those types of people? I don't say deal with, work with, right? Work with people who have been in very difficult and challenging situations.
First off, we have to just do our own homework, like you're saying. And so that would be, I do have a very high stress, triggering business. I work in criminal defense, and that's my main business. And so, yes, people who have harmed other people, hurt people, hurt people. So, mostly everyone I come in contact with is going through something very life changing, critical, the worst day of their life. They've experienced it, and then I'm there to witness it. Now, so as a person who is in that role of as a mitigation specialist, I have to work on myself because I am getting triggered, and I need to know why I'm getting triggered. So, new decision therapy was a tool for me to help me for the most part, and I think that the day will come when my criminal defense business turns into more of a metaphysical business at some point in time, and it's not that I haven't done new decision therapy on other professionals that are working in the field, but they too have to have downloaded metaphysical understandings for them to want to participate in such a thing.
That's right.
Because I mean, they're not going to be interested in the things that I'm saying are actually scary to them. And then facing themselves in the mirror about something that might be embarrassing or shameful or hurtful or that they might not can see. It just takes so much courage. And if you're already struggling with energy loss because of anxiety or depression, getting you there, you really, really kind of got to be at your wit's end and that's fine. That's my profession.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for other light workers who want to do new decision therapy, or anyone listening to this, it's a donation-based business. My money maker is in mitigation for criminal defense and consulting and my book and all this other stuff. New decision therapy is, for me, is my community service and participation and doing my part to assist in somebody else healing themselves, because if we heal one particle of a human being, we're healing the collective. And so
Absolutely.
for me, it ain't free, it's donation based.
I love it.
So there has to be some kind of energetic exchange.
That's
But
right.
I just think that all of us light workers, all of us who are bringing forth hope, courage, integrity in the world right now, we can't see our blind spot. We don't know. And so to me, the utilizing muscle testing is getting us where we need to go so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's giving an opportunity to heal and to do it through the power of forgiveness, which is so fast.
Absolutely. It's so healing. I mean, I really appreciate everything that you're saying. First of all, I want to say thank you for doing this for the community, for the collective, because it is so needed right now. And I really appreciate the way that you can be both analytical in what you do and how you do it, but also intuitive with the work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they both have an amazing process in the way that you do things, but one also, and they both actually utilize your intuition and your intuitive skills. And I have to believe that the work you've done with New Decision Therapy supports your intuitive knowing and how you interact with people and how you act with this process. I mean, I can't even imagine
Oh, I
how
tell you what, the difference between your stuff and their stuff. That is probably the
amazing.
number one thing. The
Amazing.
difference.
And that's another thing that I know people struggle with, right? So is my hope that people who need to see this today really hear that and hear how something so simple can make such an impactful difference in their life and in the lives of others. So, and didn't you want to talk about a book that you
Yeah,
said?
this, I wanted to talk about kind of two things if I could, but
Mhm.
this is the book for New Decision Therapy. It's Your Body Remembers. And it was written so long ago. Oh gosh, I can't even say or tell, but I mean, the author and the creator of New Decision Therapy, Candace Blakely, she can be Googled, and there's videos on YouTube of her doing New Decision Therapy, and also her taking New Decision Therapy to a juvenile criminal facility in
Wow.
one of the islands, and
Wow.
really being able to train the jailers how to do New Decision Therapy on the
Oh,
inmates.
that's amazing. That's
Yes, my heart just
amazing.
totally goes out to that. But the book, I've read this book, a dozen times, but I just wanted to share, and I wanted to get your insights too on two things. So when we were talking about the thymus, that's the part of your body, it secretes a hormone into the bloodstream, which is carried into various organs and glands. And when people harbor a fear-based thought, the vital life energy in their physical body loses its natural resistance to disease.
Oh,
And the other
interesting.
word that I love, which is, neuroscience, I love this stuff, is this other paragraph. It says neuropeptides are chemical substances that are made and released by brain cells. They are actually molecules that send messages all over the body. They float through the body fluids and are attracted to specific receptors in the body. Neuropeptides and their receptors grow directly off of the cell structure, the DNA. So
Mm,
even, trauma, drama, lies,
yeah.
post-traumatic stress syndrome has passed down. And
Yes.
she's talking about this
Wow.
10, 20 years ago.
Awesome.
And I'm like, oh gosh, the science behind it is so hard to have in everyday language and sharing information with people. that I just have to kind of, sometimes I'm just like, well, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. It's donation based, so there's no financial problem here. The other thing is that, you know, maybe you just need to get sick of your own, you know what, before you want to get help. And that's just you on the soul level, getting all the suffering and misery that you need first to make a change.
That's right. You hit the nail on the head right there. I love
Terrible, but true.
No, absolutely, 100% keeping it real, right? Like, you're either going to do it or you're not. Are you sick of your own stuff? You know, and so that's plain talk. You don't even have to believe in metaphysical stuff to know, I'm kind of done with this. Just whatever you're going to do, just do it. I'm ready, you know? And that's 100% true. When the student is ready, the teacher will.
Right. And I think just being a light worker, and all of us who identify as that, you know, we understand that everybody's in their own process and understanding. And as a collective, we're working together to get us all where we need to go. And whenever the time is right for that person in their own journey, then they will do what it is that they have the energy to do. And I think that, you know, as a regular human girl, I just want to be as healthy as I can so I can go the distance and do all the things I'm supposed to do in this life.
Yes, amen to that. Amen to that. So if people have questions or if they want a session with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can just, you know, look me up. There's my email. I think that's probably the fastest way, is just send me an email and put New Decision Therapy, you know, in it. And then that's rusk.victoria@gmail.com. And then we have a Facebook page for New Decision Therapy Houston. Dr. Nettie Ramsey, she started this page, and but she passed away, so may she rest in power, my dear friend. But I am an admin on the New Decision Therapy Houston Facebook page, so you can message me there. Please like the page. We haven't been as active on it as we're like, you know, reorganizing and figuring out what we're going to do as the other New Decision Therapy practitioners who trained under Dr. Nettie. But I'm definitely available and working and happy to make time for people who want to do New Decision Therapy. I love, you know, and thank you for this opportunity to, you know, to grow the idea and the understanding of what NDT is.
It's incredible. I think it's amazing. I think the more modalities that we have that help people that go beyond therapy, I'm not saying anything bad about therapy. Therapy can be very helpful. You know, AA, very helpful.
Yes.
All these amazing organizations. And there is beyond, right? So there is beyond the healing. Or if you get stuck, there's only so far you can go or can take it. Energy medicine can really help to propel your healing.
I agree.
I'm so glad that you were able to come on today, Victoria, and to talk about New Decision Therapy, because this is just an amazing, and the fact that you're doing it on a donation basis is a testament to your compassion. I really do believe that, because of the work that you do. I do believe that sometimes in law, it hardens the heart sometimes, because you see the same things over and over again, and it's hard to see change at the level that you'd like to. But I know you've done the work that you've done because of your sense of compassion and how you want to continue to help people and have that supportive, nurturing base for them. And that is just essential for what our next step in evolution is going to be. So thank you so much for doing what you do.
My pleasure.
All right. So for those of you watching, give Victoria a ring. I mean, send her an email. Let her know that you're interested. If you have questions, just ask her a question. She is more than willing to just shoot you an answer back, let you know what she thinks, if it might be right for you or not. And, you know, this woman's amazing. She's one of my soul sisters. So check her out. Thanks, Victoria. And thank you all for being here today.